Hey folks, welcome to stream day 49 part 2. It's Saturday night. I hope you're all having a lovely evening. And now that we have a flaming arrow, we can do something with the infected. Now, there's one slight little change I have made here, which I'm going to show you. I have added a light source to the particles. Okay, so basically, if we light our fire, and then we light our arrow, okay, and we go inside. If you watch, you can see that our arrow generates a light. You okay? So that is basically that. So now what we need to do is we need to add a few more dudes. Infected dudes, that is. And then we need to make them very much slower. So we're going to go in here and we're going to set the maximum walk speed to, let's say, 50 so that we can hit them. Not that that's going to help really, because I'm a terrible shot. Right, we could always change their AI though. Right, in fact, that's a good idea. Let's amend their AI. Right, so what we want to do is we can make them wait for 60 seconds. Right, which means they're basically going to hang about quite a lot, right? And we can basically add a variable and we can call it is dead. Okay, then we've got our animation instance, which is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a function called set is dead. Okay, then once we've done that, we're going to set is dead to true. Then we're going to get our animation instance and we're going to set that to true. Okay. Okie dokie. Save that. And then we're going to go into the animation blueprint. Okay. And we have this. And there we go. Right. So we need to go back to here, and we actually need to go back to here. So if the arrow is lit, okay, so we have to go back to our arrow, okay, and we're going to do a similar thing to this. Now, I was considering doing this as an event dispatcher, which would probably make sense. Right now, this is going to be BPI. I believe it's hunting. Right, and if that's true, being hit. Right, and we pass in this. Okay. And we basically do that, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn this into an event dispatcher now. Right. And false is just going to go to there. Okay, so if we light our arrow and shoot a bad guy, we should, in theory, kill it. Okay? So we're going to have to go here, we're going to have to light this. I don't know why that's blurry at this point. Okay. Well, that didn't work. Okay. Add a breakpoint there. Oh my god. I am a terrible shot, I've got to say. Okay, so we've hit our branch. Step over that. Well, it's pretty obvious why that's not going to work. You doofus. That's not wildlife action either. Right, but as I say, is that interface probably going to die because I'm going to probably use an event dispatcher for this. Right, so we get up. What's going on with that? What's going on with the blurry interface? Right, we've lit our thing. And apparently, as I said, I'm not... There we go. We certainly killed it. Right. Now, the test now is if we can kill them without a lit arrow. Or indeed, if I can manage to hit something. Which appears to be a very, very big problem for me. Oh my lord. What? Right, I'm not going to be the greatest tester of this game, am I? What the heck? Right, that's just not right. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Right, it should go straight through. It's hitting them, but it's having no effect. Okay. I'll show you what I mean. Right. If the arrow... Right. Enable breakpoint, okay? Oh my lord. What? Right, I must just be a fantastically terrible shot. Now, I do think there is a slight offset here, right? And that's why I keep missing. Or at least that's my excuse, right? Right. Just hang on a tickety boo here. Right, okay. Okay, there's something going severely wrong here. Right, so alright, okay. Well, that's bizarre. Why did those things die before? That's weird. Going by this, those other... they shouldn't have died. This should say set is dead. Right. Yeah, that's setting the animation there, right? So that is not required. Okay, we need to decide on how we do this. Right? I'm going to save that. I am going to add a breakpoint here. And we're going to test this. Oh, some cat's not very happy. Right. So that's doing the hit. Step over. Step into. This should basically do nothing. Okay? That's fine. Okay, we're going to stop that. Now, if this is false, we're going to do mesh play montage. Okay. Now we will need to slightly change this, but we're going to roll with it for now, right? So we're going to go into here and we're going to go hit reaction, right? We're going to take a look at the two of them. Okay, so that's okay. That one's not bad. There's one that's kind of, yeah, that's just too much. Right? So, we're going to turn this into a montage. Okay. And then right, this has only got a default slot, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a slot, right? And we're going to call it full body. Okay, and this one is going to play in full body. Right? And then our next one that we're going to do is we're going to go back to our animations. We're going to go back to here. Right? And what we're going to do this is not going to be default slot. This is going to be slot full body. Right? And we're going to go like that. Okay. And now what was that called? Zombie hit reaction. Zombie hit reaction. Save that. Then if we get up right, apparently I still can't aim. I need a bigger target or something. What? Right, there's something here about the aim offset, right? Ah, bollocks. Hit that by mistake. Right. Hang on a second. I have no idea what happened there. Right, so that worked. I mean, I still can't aim. It is working though, right? Trust me. It's working. Right? There must be some weird angle here. It is working though. Oh, I'm horrific at shooting. Right. And it does actually make him do his thing. Right? So that's good. So our logic is working, right? It's just that we're a terrible shot. So if I now pick this up and light this, in theory I should be able to kill them. Right, so we've lit our arrow. Question is, can I possibly hit it from more than 10 feet away? The answer is probably no. I don't believe that. Right. But now you see our arrow actually isn't lit. Right? It is lit now, it's just that we're not unlighting it when we actually do that thing. Right? So, resume. Oh. Well, apparently that's not the case. And I haven't got that crap anymore. So I need to go and do that again. Right. So we basically need to make sure we hit the damn thing. Which has proven to be a problem for me. what I should really do is do a tracer on the arrow to find out what the actual offset is on this, right? So that's definitely been hit, right? So if that's the case, this should also be, but it's not. Well, that's bizarre. Right, so our arrow apparently isn't lit anymore. Wait a minute. Right, this event being hit is firing off a bajillion times. Yeah, there's something weird going on here. So if that's firing off a bajillion times, there is definitely something not right. I'll tell you what we're going to do though. We're going to press play again. Right, now it seemed to me, for whatever reason, the one on the left is the one with a problem. Right? So it looks like they just maybe need reloaded into the level. Right. So that did not, under any circumstances, work. Right? Basically, arrow is lit is false. Okay. So, there's something going on with the arrow. Yeah. You're a Unity user. Well, I've each to their own. Nothing wrong with that. I've used Unity in the past. Right, we're not lighting the arrow. And that's in the fire. So we don't want that. We want in the bow, set arrow is lit should be true. Unreal Engine sucks. Each to their own. I don't find it sucks. But you might, which is fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. UK, arrow lit, job's a good one. Done. And so many errors. Really? What type of errors? Which version were you using? Right, so now that should work, because I remembered that being an issue because I was doing it for some reason with the fire, which didn't make any sense, right? Alright, so we've lit our arrow. And we're now going to shoot a bad guy. Resume. And there he goes. Wee-hee. Now the interesting thing should be that it should only be that arrow that is lit. Okay. But there are going to be things in between here, because if you're reloading, you're going to have to reload, etc., which is fine. All good. But fundamentally, it is working. Right? So, for example, if we haven't lit our arrow, right? He just takes a hit and it doesn't do anything, which is exactly what we want, right? Okay. And there we go. Awesomeness. I mean, that's a bit exaggerated. But anyway, it works. It's doing what we wanted, the logic's doing what we wanted to do, which is the main thing. We can have a look at the animations and stuff later. We are probably going to have a state right now. This is something I'm going to have to discuss with Kent, which is basically what happens when you shoot a monster without a flaming arrow. Okay? That is the question that needs answered. Right? But the logic here should be now, do we have, yeah, here it's here, parasite state. Right, so we have chasing, idle chasing, crawling, fire spotted. Okay. And I think we're going to have an alerted. Right, so when they get shot, they're going to go into an alerted phase, and into alerted mode. Now, the highest priority is going to be the fire spotted, so if they spot a fire, they won't go near the fire, right? So, in theory, what you could do is if you stand between a fire and the bad guy, he's going to chase you, but as soon as he perceives the fire, right, he's going to run the other direction, right? But that is for probably another day. I don't know what I'm going to do next, actually. Well, I mean, we could set this, right? We could basically duplicate that, right, is equal to alerted, right? Damn it. Right, and we're going to do a sequence. Okay. We're going to have a wait for 2 seconds so that he can do his animation. We can check that animation actually, come and get what we'll do. Hit reaction. It's 2 seconds, would you believe? Is that what you came into the stream to tell me, Kusha? That you don't use it? Right, so back to our behavior tree, and we probably need the player. Aye, generic NPC. To you as well. Right, and this is going to be the player, and the key type is going to be Groenland, if I can spell it right, which is debatable. What did you miss? Oh, you've missed loads. So as you have. I don't know, because I don't know last time you watched. So with that in mind, I don't know what you missed. I think what you've missed is sitting and standing up, maybe. Right? You can sit down and stand up now. Okay. The interact menu now like pops up. Okay. We're getting closer to the bow thing working, right? So you can pick up a bow, and then you've got an arrow, etc. Right? Now, the interesting thing here is you can shoot a bad guy, but he doesn't die, right? Now, that's intended, so don't worry about that, right? I'll show you how you actually kill a bad guy. What you've got to do, you've got to take this. Okay, I'll show you something else. Now, right, if something requires another thing, it tells you, right? And it just so happens that this is fuel. So if we take that, it now tells us that we can actually light it, right? Okay, and now's for the fun part, right? If we put our bow in our hand again, we can go over and we can light our arrow, right? And if we light our arrow, right, and we shoot a dude, he now dies. Right, that's not how he's going to die, but that's the logic, right? What they're going to do is they're going to catch fire and explode, right? But I don't have the animations for that yet, so I can't play them. But the logic is correct. If we fire at a bad guy and it isn't lit, then it doesn't kill him. Right, but... oh yeah, and it plays a random animation as well, right? But you can see there that we can light our arrows and kill the bad guys. Now, if we shoot our wildlife, it still should work. That's if I can hit stuff, which I've been having trouble with all night, because I'm bloody useless at aiming, right? And that all still works. Right, so then we can put this away. And we're beginning it to actually unveil play loops now. Right, so we can skin this. And she goes down, skins it. Right, gives us food. Right, we can now eat that. And it now doesn't go in here, which is bad, but we're going to sort that out. That's just going to need a tweak of code. But yeah, as you can see, we've got the gameplay loops are beginning to become revealed. Okay, that you're going to have to use items with each other to do certain things, etc, etc. Now the interesting thing is it took this away, but it didn't give us the food, right? So we're gonna have to fix that, okay? But we're gonna fix that when I come back. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like, subscribe. I shall be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to grab a cigarette. And check out the links in the description to the game's Discord, my personal Discord, the Patreon to support the channel, and finally my previous game on Steam, which Kusha I did completely in Unreal Engine. I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, we are back and let's have a look at the food issue, shall we? So, we can do it quite quickly here. We don't need to do it from... We can actually pick that up. And we could eat that. Wow. That was weird. Okay. So, interactable items, food, we need to try this. The red text thing over the screen. Screen Apple, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can go into the command. You can go into your, if you hit tilde, there's something you can type in that extends the texture thing. Or alternatively, you can change your INI file in Unreal Engine to up it as well. There's plenty of YouTube videos and articles on how to do it. I don't know off the top of my head. Right, but what we want to do here is add a breakpoint. Right. Yeah, we're having a good night, Casa. We've got the taking a flaming arrow to kill a bad guy, and if you just shoot it with a normal arrow, it just basically hits it and it is staggered a bit, but that's really about it. Right, and we're now taking a look at why things aren't quite working on our food now, right, which is kind of understandable because I have changed a load of stuff. Right, so we're getting eat, right, and we're getting the food value is 20. What? Right, so that should be 20. Why does that say 0? What, this? Screen Apple, I don't understand what you mean. Are you talking about when it appears up here? Up in the top left? Or are you talking about something else? Or are you talking about this? Right, yeah, this. Yeah, texture streaming. There's plenty of articles out there. You can either do it in your command where you hit tilde and type something, or you can do something in your ini file, right? The other one that says lighting needs to be rebuilt, right? Basically, all you do is you click in here and you say build lighting only, right? And that's it. Okay. So this one here, you go into your ini file or you hit tilde and you type something, can't remember what it is. And this one is the rebuild. Okay. Rebuild lighting. Right, so we're going to eat here, right? And for some reason, this says 20, food value 20, and then suddenly it says nothing. But we're going to go in here anyway and find out what it actually says. And it says 0. What the heck? Okay. Whatever. Let's click on that. Struct food. 20. That's bizarre. Right. The only thing I can think of here is when the food is getting done, we can click on it here and it does say 20. Click on that one says 20. So I think I might have to turn off my mic for a second. My dog's losing its nut. Back in a sec. Okay guys, hopefully I've calmed down. Right, this is weird. Why does it say 20 here and nothing here? I am flummoxed. Now I could change this to an integer, right? But what we're going to do here is we're going to say print string but our problem is right, that we've got that false thing coming up on the screen from one of the animation blueprints, I believe. Right, so we're going to need to get that off the screen first now. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. Right, so we're going to go to there, browse. We're going to check this pawn first. We're going to go animation, and it's not that one. Right, because that's why it says for removal. Right, it's this one. Right, and go to event graph, and we're not printing anything out, so it's not that one. So I am guessing it might be this one. Might be our zombie. Might be. It's not. Okay. Then if it's not that, we could look for an event tick, although that wouldn't necessarily find it. So all I can assume now is it's one of our wildlife animations. And I'm not even convinced it's any of these, to be honest. Right, so it's not that one. And it's not that one either. Except it is. Right. So I'll delete those out of the way. Compile that. Go back to our food. Drag this up a bit. And press play. Right. So that printed 20. What the heck? Right, so that's 20. It seems incapable of making this into a float for some reason. There's our 20. Okay. Right. Be like that. To float. Right. What's going on here? Zero. 20. What did Gordon Bennett? Okay. If I go to our pawn, this is the eat, right? What I'm going to do, we're going to go to our BPI char actions. Right? And just for a laugh, we're going to add a new parameter. And we're going to call it int value, right? Then we're going to go back to our food. I'm an idiot. Right, because that needs to be an integer. Save that. Back to our food. And just put this straight into here. The wacky weirdest thing about this is this was all working. Right? So if we step into this, oh, that may explain quite a lot. I think it was confused about that struct or something, which is possible. Question now, of course, is how much have I lost? Soon find out, I suppose. While we're here and waiting, hit the like and subscribe, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000, which would be fantastic. Right. That closed straight away, so that's a good sign usually. And it didn't say everything was screwed, which is also a good sign. Right, if you're going to have lost a lot, what it will do is it will come up with a list to say restore, and then it basically you can't. And then that normally spells trouble. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to our interactables. I'm going to go to our food. Right, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to refresh all nodes, and then I'm going to compile, and then I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to save all. Okay. Then, well, we have to put a breakpoint on. I'm going to escape that. Alright, Sinistro, you can sit back and have your coffee. You're welcome to watch. I'm going to add this breakpoint back in. Excuse me. Right, play. And we're going to eat. We've got 20. Right. Step over. This value is 0. I have no idea why. Right, this is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Right, but we are passing in our int value, which we know is 20 because it gets it there. Right, so if we step into this, right, we get 0 and 0. Right, we'll step over that, and that is 20. Look, 20. But this one is 22 as well. What in the hell? Right, so we're getting this value here, which is going to be 120. It's going to get clamped to 100, right? So basically, this, right, okay. Resume. Now there's a weird one. Right. Right, so this code's wrong. So it should be lerping. So it's getting the hunger. So it says 100 minus the 20, which isn't what it should be doing. Right? So actually, this is wrong. In here, we're probably going to need a variable, right? Because in actual fact, we need this value at this point. I would have to say factorial. Yeah, factorial is the simple answer to that one. Right, so fundamentally, right, we need we probably need this as, right, the easiest way to do this, we can't have a timeline on a function, right? Okay, so we can't do that. We can't have a timeline in a function. Now, what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to remove this again because we don't need it, because all of a sudden it has started working again, right? Which I'm not surprised at after that crash, right? Now, what, right, we'll delete that and do that, then save all. Then we shall remove this. And then we'll carry on with what we were doing. And this is going to have to get done for each of the different things. Right? But that's okay. We're not too worried about that. What we were worried about was why this was giving us some weird value. Right, so we probably need to bring this down to there, and that'll do us. Right, so that's back exactly the way it was, and we are no further than we were before, which is awesome. Right, now we can do this simply by adding a variable, but I don't really want to do that. Right, what I want to do is do up to here and then pass these two values back, okay, as the function outputs. Right, now in this case the two function outputs is the previous hunger value and the new hunger value. Okay, so in this case I could just set a variable here and grab the previous hunger. This is the previous hunger, right? But to make this shorter, right, we could just do it as a function. Okay, so we'll just do a function and we'll say calc hunger values. Right, now we're going to duplicate this and we'll do this for the drinky ones. Right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have, we're going to say previous hunger. Right, and these are going to be floats. Right, we'll just add another one while we're at it, because actually it's not going to be in there. Right, so now if we go back, oh god, where is it? I think it's in an event actions. Right, so in our calc hunger values we're going to need an input, and we'll just call it value, and it's going to be a float. Right, and then we go back to here, right, we copy this, we put it there, okay, this is going to go in there, and it's also going to go in there. Right, and we're going to get our local variable and set it here. Okay, so this is going to give us the old value. So basically what I'm saying is, or for some reason, and I thought this was working okay, and it looks like it's working okay if you test it in isolation, right? But what it was doing was, it was basically doing the rotate thing, right? Drawing in the circle, right? But it was taking the new value and it was going from the previous hunger minus the 20 that you were adding. So basically what it was doing was, it was saying, right, if you had 100 health, I'm going to draw it back from 80 up to 100 again, rather than from, let's say if it was 98, it would drop from 98 back up. So we need the previous value, previous hunger here, so that we can pass it back to the lerp. Okay? Which is fine. All we need to do now is go to here and add old hunger right, and new hunger. Okay. So this is our new hunger. Right? And our previous, we don't even need this. Right? Because that is incorrect. What we need is our previous hunger. Right, and that can go in there. Then we can basically do that. We can do that. We can tidy that up and drag it up. Right? Then we can drag these down a bit. That'll do. Drag that to there. Drag that to there. Right. And what do we call this? Calc hunger values. Okay, so if we now go back to here, right, we can delete this and we can calc hunger values. Now we're going to save this and I'm going to delete that, right, and then I'm going to turn this pure. Okay, And then we're going to go back here and calc hunger values. That's going to go there. We're going to get these, and those are going to go in there. Isn't that a bit more tidy? Right, cool. Let's see if it works. That's the proof of the pudding, and that's not even what I was actually working on. But anyway, we come across a bug, we fix it, we squash it. Right. So we're going to have to wait a minute, right, till our health goes down a bit, right, till our hunger goes down. And then we're going to make sure that it actually works. Okay? And then we're going to do the identical thing with our thirst. Okay, that'll be enough. So we eat. And yeah, that's going to go up pretty quick. We can always wait for it to do it again. Check it out. We probably, while I'm at it, want to add a breakpoint in here, just to make sure that we're not doing anything completely stupid, which has been known to happen from time to time. Come on, hurry up. Right, let's try this. So, step over. Step over. .93. So we started at 93. Okay. So basically at the end we should have 0.93 and then we should have 1. Okay. .93, 1. Perfect. Right, so when we press play or resume, I don't know why it's doing that. So I can only assume that when we're interacting with it, Right, so we're going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say do once. Right, because we're never going to interact with this again. And it's going to be actually the same with pickup. Right, anything that ends with me destroying the thing, then all we need to do is basically stick in a do once. Right, because we never need to think about resetting it or anything. Right, all we do is basically blitz it. So this is going to stop it doing any weird, you know, multi. If you've ever noticed when you do an overlap, overlaps have got a tendency to fire off more than once, which can cause great confusion. Right. So, right, we're going to run about for a minute. Give our thing a chance to wind down a bit. I think I'll probably do the same here with the drink. Keep it all in line. Keep all the code in line. And what I actually needed to do here was when I picked it up, right, if we go up here and we actually just pick this up, right, it wasn't working from our button, so we need to check that, but we want to check this so we're going to eat this. Now it did work, but it did it way too fast. It shouldn't do it like that, right? Well, it's doing it in a second. No, it should take 3 seconds. That should be 0. Well, that's weird. A bit of both. Screen apple, a bit of both. Right, this is bizarrely bizarre. Let's try this again. As I said, Screen Apple, I use assets. I make assets if I need to, and I can. And I also repurpose assets. Right? So like, if I've got an asset that's like UI, I'll chop it up and make other things out of it, and just basically using the best of what you've got and repurposing it, reusing it, etc, etc. Right? Now again, we're going to take that one. Now, as I said, this should literally take 3 seconds, right? I'm going to actually this is unadulterated madness, but I'm going to do this anyway. In fact, right, this should only fire once. Okay? And it should take 3 seconds. Right? Damn it, I missed what actually happened there. Okay. So I guess I do need this. When you think about it, Screen Apple, that's what everybody does. Even the big studios. I mean, you can say, oh, we make our own assets. No, they don't. They pay somebody to make their assets by employing them to make assets. Right? There would be no difference between, you know, Activision paying an artist or a modeler to make assets than it would for me to do it. Right? So, whether you buy them from a asset store or you directly pay an artist to make one, it really comes down to the same thing, right? Because it really comes down to the fact of what's really possible to create on your own, right? I mean, if you're going to create everything, you're going to create the textures for the ground, you're going to create the textures for the grass, you're going to create the textures for absolutely every single thing. And then are you going to create every single model? Hey, Stormrun Gaming. Right, so we've gave it a bit of time. Press that. Right. Resume. Okay. So this should be 0.93. Well, yeah, 0.91, that's good enough for me. Right, so this is 0.910799. Right? What? How is that possible? Old hunger. Right, this must be getting called again. Okay. Right, okay. This is getting called again. Right, this is a problem you come across usually when the camera, you're doing stuff with the camera, you've got to get the original position of the camera. Right, and I've basically done the same thing. Right, so fundamentally, we need a couple of variables, which is going to be prev hunger and what we actually need here, or what we can actually do, is say main attributes, get main attributes, right, and then we can say break struct, then we can say hunger, then we're going to break that. We're going to need a slightly different little bit of code there. We're going to say old hunger, we're going to say play from start, then we're going to say prev hunger, then for this we're going to hide unconnected, do that, drag this up, and play. Right, talk among yourselves for 2 minutes while this actually does its thing. In fact, this is a good point, guys, to, if you haven't already done so, and I do appreciate it if you have, is to hit like and subscribe. Okay? Because we're going to have to wait a second or two till the health goes down a bit, so we get a kind of reasonable and we are going to fix this probably later tonight off stream, we're going to check that inventory button, but we did know that there was going to be issues with that, but that's fine. Right, so eat it. Hit resume. 0.94. Resume. What? 1.74? Are you joking me here? That's 0.94. And the hunger is 100. Oh, I'm a super silly. That's got to be divided by 100. Oh, I am making a right dog's dinner of this tonight. So the question is, what are you guys' favourite games out there that wasn't made by me? I can imagine a few votes for, let's say, The Witcher. I can see, I could never get into The Witcher, right? I can see that it's good, but I could never get into it. Yeah, just take it as a learning experience, Stormrun Gaming. You will get lost. I get lost. I get lost in what I'm doing half the time, right? Even though you maybe I look like I know what I'm doing, sometimes I'm as lost as you guys. Right, eat to the beat. So we're 0.93. We are 1. Resume. .930650. Resume. 93998. So that looks to me like it's working. Right, so I'm going to disable these two, and we should see this gradually going up. And there we go. Lovely. And on that note, guys, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go and do the drink one, which I'm going to have to do the same, which isn't a problem, because basically if you find a bug, you squash it immediately. So if you've enjoyed the stream, as usual, hit like, subscribe, check out the description for links to the game Discord, my personal Discord, my Patreon to support the channel, and finally my previous game on Steam, which is on sale for $1 tower defense game, FTD2. Right, so thank you guys for watching. I'll be back tomorrow 2 PM as usual. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and thank you guys for all the comments. It's always interesting reading what you guys are up to and your questions and stuff. So I shall see you later. Bye bye for now.